Please begin.
Hi, Ray. Thank you for having me here.
Okay, stop.
Oh, sorry.
Take two. Right to your story.
Okay.
Okay.
The other day, somebody asked me when I was telling them that I worked for UnitedWay, oh, is that the charity that gives out goats? I thought, oh, no, but, well, and it gave me pause to think for a minute. Maybe not everybody knows what UnitedWay does in this community. So because we are a worldwide brand, everybody has heard of UnitedWay, so they instantly recognize it when I say, oh, I work for UnitedWay. But what some people don't really know is that UnitedWay is local. We're based right here in your own community. And you might not have also known that UnitedWay is second only to the government in funding social programs that exist right here in your community. So the benefit of that is that you know that those programs are around for when you and your family need it. One thing that you might not know is that the St. John ambulance that are around when your kids play soccer are funded through UnitedWay. You also might not know that the UnitedWay in this community funds over 40 different programs that address very specific social needs. We actually have a community impact council that looks into what those needs are and makes sure that the programs that we're funding are meeting those needs and that the funds are being used responsibly and accountably. So you can be rest assured that the donations that you invest into UnitedWay are being used to meet those specific community needs, and your dollar is actually having a very big impact in your own community. One of the programs that I'm very proud to be a part of, or to know that UnitedWay funds, is one of our neighborhood, what's the program? Help me out here, sorry. Oh, darn it.
Still fine.
Okay. In fact, our after-school program won an award from the Waterloo Regional Police Service for the effectiveness that it has in the community. I just wanted to also tell you about part of my experience from when I was a child.
Good. And
the reason why I get up and do what I do every day for UnitedWay. When I was 16, I ran away from home, kind of. I ran away to a friend's house, which I was lucky enough to have friends and family that supported me. But when I was 16, we moved to Brantford, a community not far from here. And that's where all of my family was. And my mom got a new job in Kitchener at a place where she became the credit manager. To make a long story short, my mom's job was very stressful on her emotionally and physically, not only because of the people that she had to deal with every day, having to learn about their own money problems and having to argue with them about paying their own bills, but she also had a very long and frustrating commute to Kitchener every day. And eventually it started to take its toll on her and on our family. Things got bad really fast, and we started fighting every time we saw each other. It got so bad that my stepdad started to drink early in the day when he got off work, so that by the time she got home from work, he was drunk and in bed and didn't have to deal with it anymore. And trying to be a mediator, because I was 16 and thought I knew everything, it only got me and my mom in more fights. And they were screaming matches at least every day between either my mom and myself, or my mom and my stepdad. And it got to a point where my stepdad had been under the abuse of an emotional abuse for so long that he was ready to call it quits and leave. And that just couldn't happen. So I left instead. When I left, that was, I think, the one thing that made my mom stop and think, okay, we really need to stop and fix this. And through talking with her, we negotiated my terms of coming back, and she agreed to talk to a doctor about the anger and the emotional problems she was having, and she actually started going to family counseling in Brantford, and it was a program that had been funded by UnitedWay at the time. I didn't know that at the time. It was just something my mom was doing, but that's the beauty about UnitedWay. It works so quietly underneath the cover that there's a lot of programs in the community that you wouldn't know are supported by it. So my mom started going to those programs and getting help with her anger and dealing with stressful situations that eventually she developed the tools to learn how to be able to combat the stress, and eventually she ended up finding a better job where she was better able to handle the workload, and things got better. So from my perspective, if that program hadn't been there, I wouldn't have gone home. I would have stayed with a friend. My friend probably would have kicked me out eventually because I only stayed at her house for a few weeks. But if I had been there for a few months or whatever, her mom would have said, out lady. And I would have been on the streets. I would have been looking for a housing somewhere. And I can't imagine what my life would be like if we hadn't initially taken that step to go and find help and use a program that was funded through UnitedWay. We didn't have extra money to pay for that kind of stuff, so it was really nice that that was there in the community for us when we needed it. So I ask you today to please fill out your pledge forms. Even if it's just $1 a day or $2 a pay, it all adds up, and it's there to make sure that those programs that are out there and available to help families when they need them stay there, and we can continue to see our community grow and build. So please fill out your pledge form, and please participate in your UnitedWay campaign in any way you can.
Right.